After 3 weeks off, the Terrier women's ice hockey team got back to action at Walter Brown Arena on Sunday afternoon, welcoming in the Nittany Lions of Penn State for the first of a 2-game series. The game was scoreless through the first 2 periods of play. Both teams did have chances on the power play but could not convert. Penn State, though, would convert on the power play early in the 3rd period, getting an unassisted goal by Izzy Heminger. BU was able to respond fairly quickly, and off a face-off win, the Terriers get the puck in front and they score to tie the game up 1-1. The two teams were scoreless for the final 10 minutes of regulation, sending the game into overtime 1-1. But after 65 minutes of action, the game remained tied 1-1, and finishing that way as Penn State ties for the 3rd time this year, while BU, the 5th time, they finish in a tie. BU now 8-4-5 overall on the season, while Penn State is 7-9-3. And both teams will be back in action on Monday afternoon on the 31st of December, the final game of 2018. It'll be a 1 p.m. face-off at Walter Brown Arena. Standing by now with BU women's hockey coach Brian Durocher. And Coach, Penn State scores that power play goal in the 3rd period. Your team seemed to respond pretty well, get the tying goal pretty quickly after that. What did you like about your team in that 3rd period, the way you responded?
Well, I think respond is the optimal word. I believe that we had a chance right away after they had scored, and then a few minutes later, obviously Sammy Davis, gets a second whack at it, and it squeezes over the line. We had a funny shot that, some of the kids on the bench thought it might have gone off the back of the net, but I didn't see it that way. And then, late, Jesse Comfer and Christina Schuler have grade A opportunities, and, those are the ones that you want to make a little better shot, but they played one heck of a game, Penn State, today. They were real determined, didn't give us any, free opportunities, and to get one at the end was big because, it could have been a loss. Gets out of there with a tie, and that's a good sign for us.
Is it tough for the players after all this time off to get back on the ice and then maybe play a team that they're not as familiar with?
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the team they're not familiar with. I think it's just more of the fact that, after we finished at RIT on, I think it was December 8th or whatever, they had 3 or 4 more captains' practices. We couldn't be on the ice, and then it was reading period exams, and these kids train all year round and do a great job. Most of them got to take skates home and skate, but it's not quite the same. And to have 3 practices, it's always kind of interesting, when you start the second half. My days on the men's side, it was sometimes worse because you'd have a practice and a morning skate and play a game. But these kids really, they're remarkable athletes. They bounce back well, and they're at the right age, 20. They can do it a little better than somebody who's a couple decades older.
Corrine Schroeder, she didn't have to make a ton of saves today. Not a lot of shots overall in the game, but she seems to make those saves when needed, and there was one late in the game. I think it was in overtime where she made that glove save going down to a split that was huge.
That's correct. I complimented her after the game when I talked to the kids. And, I let the whole team know that I don't think there was much I didn't like about the way we played, other than the fact we didn't score, but that isn't always in your control. And, to have somebody like Corrine continue to play well, make that huge save real late in the game, that's what she's done this year all the way through, and my hat off to her.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck tomorrow once again against Penn State.
Thank you.